Good morning and welcome to Kehillat Shari Torah's virtual Counting the Omer and Halacha review and spiritual insights for Friday, April 24th. Today is also Rosh Chodesh. Remember we'd say Hallel today and also Musaf for Rosh Chodesh, as well as Yala V'Yavo in all of our davening. Today, Hayom Chamisha Asar Yom Shehem Shnei Shavuos V'Yom Echad LaOmer. Today is 15 days of the Omer, which are 2 weeks and 1 day of the Omer. A couple of halacha points from Reb Mordechai Eliyahu about counting the Omer. He mentions that some people have the custom to mention the number of the day of the Omer when they're writing a letter. So when they write a letter, or nowadays an email, they write at the top of the page not only the Hebrew date, whatever day of Nisan or Iyar, Sivan it happens to be. Today is such and such a day of the Omer. Some write such and such of the counting, so that maybe they don't want to transgress the idea of counting without a bracha. Okay, a little bit complicated there. Miscellaneous problems that he mentions: if a person counted without saying the bracha, let's say it was getting close to the time to count the Omer, and he counted without making the bracha beforehand, nevertheless, you fulfilled your obligation. So if someone asks another person around twilight from sunset onwards, how many days is it today? What's the counting of the Omer today? The custom, the universal custom, people say what it was yesterday. Not just because we want to be difficult and answer a Jew's question with a riddle, but we want to be able to count tonight with a bracha. So if somebody says, hey, what's the counting tonight? And I didn't daven Ma'ariv yet, so I didn't count the Omer yet. So I say, oh, it's 36. So I've really already counted the Omer. So then when I go to do it later and I make my bracha, I've already done it. So you should say how many is yesterday, and hopefully the person's sharp enough to add one to that number and come up with the right counting for today. Because if I'll count now, I won't be allowed to make the bracha later on. Okay, so that's that. As far as the spiritual side, if you look in the Siddur on page 286, after the counting for the 15th day, you'll see that it says in the Sphira chart there, as we discussed in the introduction a couple of weeks ago, Chesed Shebetif'eres. So what is Tif'eres? What's Tif'eret? Rabbi Jacobson, looking in his spiritual guide for counting the Omer, he says Tif'eret is compassion. It blends and harmonizes the free outpouring love of Chesed with the discipline of Gevura. Tif'eret possesses this power by introducing a third dimension, the dimension of truth, which is neither love nor discipline, and therefore can integrate the two. Truth is accessed through selflessness, rising above your ego and your predispositions, enabling you to realize a higher truth. Truth gives you a clear and objective picture of yours and others' needs. The imbalance of love and discipline, for that matter, any distortion, is a result of subjective, hence limited perspective. By introducing truth, by suspending personal prejudices, that allows you to express your feelings, including the synthesis of Chesed and Gevura, in the healthiest manner. This quality gives Tif'eret its name, which means beauty. It blends differing colors of love and discipline, and this harmony makes it beautiful. That's what we're focusing on this week. So specifically today, where we said today is Chesed Shebetif'eret, which is loving kindness in compassion. So his suggestions for today are as follows. Examine the love aspect of compassion. Ask yourself, is my compassion tender and loving, or does it come across as pity? Is my sympathy condescending and patronizing? Even if my intention is otherwise, do others perceive it that way? Does my compassion overflow with love and warmth? Is it expressed with enthusiasm, or is it static and lifeless? His suggestion, an exercise for the day: when helping someone, extend yourself in the fullest way. Offer a smiling or a loving gesture. Good Erev Shabbos, good Chodesh, and we'll see you again after Shabbat.